If you were a 90s kid in the UK, you know exactly how boss CITV was back in the day. Every single show slapped and had you legging it home from school as fast as you could to catch them. Everything from Bernard's Watch, to Zap, to Art Attack, to Grisly Tales for Gruesome Kids, which Kofi has covered in a previous Nightmare Fuel episode. But one of my absolute favourites in the elite tier of kids game shows that I looked forward to every day was Jungle Run. Jungle Run ran from 1999 to 2006 and in its time had 3 different hosts: Dominic Wood, Chris Jarvis, and the most well-remembered Michael Underwood. The format and the premise were simple. A group of brave child explorers enter a mythical jungle and have to face against a series of time trial challenges, at times having to fend off the annoying distractions of Sid and Elvis, the henchmen of the jungle who throw items at the kids during the challenges. The aim of the contestants during these challenges was to grab as many silver and ruby monkey idols as possible, or in the earlier years they collected bananas if you're a real OG watcher like me. Collecting these items built up their clock for when they entered the final challenge, and that's what I want to talk about today. Because the jungle here is governed by a legendary beast that has claimed the lives of many explorers, and his spirit still lingers in the treetops looking down upon his next victims. I am of course talking about the Jungle King, and the final challenge sees the swarms of children having to enter his temple. This dusty, dimly lit tomb contains a series of challenges one after the other, each of them allowing the contestants to gain access to increasingly valuable monkey statues: stone, bronze, silver, and the main prize every kid desired to take home, the golden monkey. Here's the Nightmare Fuel catch though: the temple of the Jungle King, as well as several other challenges during the show, can result in terrible consequences, because some of them require one of the kids to enter some kind of building or smaller tomb on a solo mission, but if they don't make it back to the entrance in time, they get locked inside. This time trial aspect is something I've always hated, even in games. Your mind can't settle because you're too busy occupied thinking about the clock running down.
I didn't know where it was. I got so confused.
Okay. So if your mate gets trapped, you have to make a horrendous decision. You can either pay the Jungle King's fee to get them free, which means sacrificing an unhealthy chunk of your bananas or monkeys you've acquired, or just leave them there to take on the final challenge handicapped. And you know what? Plenty of teams did the latter, leaving their friends behind to starve, die, and rot away in the Jungle King's arenas. Talk about teamwork, eh? There's your consequences then. It's succeed or die. And the Temple of the Jungle King is the worst case scenario of this. Whenever the challenge is coming to a close in the last 10 to 20 seconds, depending on the era of the show, there's a loud gong noise to signify there's hardly any time left on the clock. Let me tell you, the adrenaline and stress watching a team in the Golden Monkey Room and the gong going off, it was horrendous. Do you stay and try and win the challenge and barely make it out, or leg it to guarantee escape? All the while, if you do decide to leg it out, you've only got a matter of seconds before the biggest Nightmare Fuel dose in the entire show happens. The stone belly of the Jungle King comes down and seals the tomb. If you watched Jungle Run as a kid, I can absolutely guarantee you had this exact thought. What if a kid got crushed in half by the belly? Yep, I brought back some memories there, didn't I? But we all thought it. The bloody thing comes down so fast, if you are hanging out of it trying to escape at the wrong time, you've either got to Indiana Jones it, or you're going home in 2 separate bags. But if you back off or don't make it out in time, you're trapped inside the dark, dirty temple at the mercy of the Jungle King for the rest of time. Dozens upon dozens of innocent children lost for eternity, all in the chase for some monkey statues. But is it worth it? Like, what do you actually get if you retrieve these statues? Well, the more precious the statue, the better the prize. Let's see what sacred, ancient, mystical treasures the kids receive. A digital watch? An MP3 player? A Game Boy? A mountain bike? Very sacred indeed. Way to keep the mystique up, guys. To be honest, as a kid, I'd be over the moon with a Game Boy here, but it's always hilarious when the lower tier prizes are mentioned. Like, who the frig wants a Commando watch? There was even one time the kids got out and the Stone Monkey statue got them some super soakers. It's like the show's prize department was just a Toys R Us around the corner from the set. To be honest though, the sets are brilliant. The jungle looks fantastic and all the challenges are unique and memorable, with overall mega good production quality for this kind of show. It feels a lot like the Aztec Zone from the Crystal Maze, a show that Jungle Run borrows a lot of structural elements from, including the time trials, gathering crystals to stack up time in the final challenge, and contestants getting locked in and needing to be bought out. Even Michael Underwood appeared as a child contestant on the Crystal Maze in 1990, the greatest game show crossover you never knew about. Anyway, back to Jungle Run. The nightmare fuel elements here come from the sheer dread and despair of failure. If you mess up, you're gonna become trapped for all time, and in the temple of the Jungle King. You had one of the most intense finales ever seen in children's entertainment. You were always on edge expecting a kid or two to get sealed in the temple, or even worse, decapitated by it. Jungle Run was constantly a stressful experience, but that's exactly what made it such a long-lasting and popular series that many people look back on fondly to this day. Do you think Jungle Run is due a comeback? Could it be done as well as you remember? Who would you get to host it? Let me know all your thoughts and feelings down below in the comments, and be sure to join us next time for another dose of nightmare fuel.